evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. NFL news today, the Dallas Cowboys placed a franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens to secure him through 2026. Pickens led Dallas with 1,429 yards on 93 catches and 9 touchdowns last season. College basketball tonight in the top 25. A top 10 clash in the Big Ten with third-ranked Michigan at number 10 Illinois. A win tonight for Michigan would give them an outright Big Ten regular season title. And 21st ranked Miami of Ohio looks to keep their undefeated record clean at Western Michigan. A win makes them 29-0. And in hockey, the Blue Jackets fell to the Bruins last night in their first game back from break. Tomorrow, they'll play their first home game since the break, hosting the Islanders at 6 o'clock. This update is sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Old Bag of Nails. Get a buy one, get one free deal on burgers on the app. Terms apply. See app for details. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Ring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Friday. I'm Brandon Beam hanging out with our guy, the Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts 24/7 Sports. He is with us this evening. Reimer behind the glass. Patrick, happy Friday to you, my friend. What's going on? Good to talk to you.
Not much. Just got back from the Combine.
Yep.
Which we're keeping track of here as the Buckeye DBs work out. So, yeah, good time and glad to be back with you.
Absolutely, man. Lorenzo Styles just ran his second 40 of the evening over in Indianapolis. His first 40 time was a 4.28. He just followed it up on his second time also with a 4.28. So basically 0.2 faster than his brother, who set the Combine on fire last night.
Yes, and that is the fastest time, I believe, so far. Assuming that sticks, that's the unofficial time, but usually it's pretty close. So we knew Lorenzo was fast, right? We'd seen that in person, both when he played for Notre Dame and had a 50-plus yard catch against Ohio State and when he was a Buckeye playing defense. But he just doubled down on that with 2 great runs there on the 40-yard dash, which I know we talk about a lot. NFL teams probably don't need that as much, but for a guy playing the secondary, that certainly helps you.
Yeah, and I also think for a guy like Lorenzo, right? Like, you know, for Sonny and Arvell, Caleb, Carnell, Caden McDonald, Caden Curry, like these guys have a lot of film on tape. Not to say that Lorenzo Styles doesn't have a lot of film on tape, but you're talking about a guy who is a fringe draft prospect who is going into this Combine. If there's going to be someone who probably needs to run better and perform better at the Combine, and it's not to say that those guys who I just mentioned at the very beginning like didn't need to perform well. They obviously set it on fire last night when they were doing their drills. But if there needs to be someone who could gain a whole lot from, you know, their experiences at the Combine, and I know that Lorenzo obviously is going to interview very, very well. And if you can double that down, Pat, by doing the on-field drills and all the physical things that everybody needs to do at the Combine, if there's one Buckeye to gain the most from running and doing what he just did in the 40-yard dash, it's Lorenzo Styles. So that's got to be awesome for him. I know he's probably pumped about the time that he ran. That's fast, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's not to say that's his best. It's probably his best physical attribute, right? Like, he's not built like his brother. In fact, when he was doing the interviews...
He's very opposite.
Yes. When he was doing the interviews, he kept referring to him as his big little brother, which I thought was funny. But the biggest thing he's got is the speed, and they actually just showed... You know, the when they superimposed the 2 people at once, so they had Sonny and Lorenzo running. And it is funny because they do run very similarly, but Lorenzo obviously just moves a little bit quicker. Doesn't have as much weight to carry either there, though the legs probably aren't as long. But yeah, look, somebody once told me about the Combine that if you are one of the top guys, you know, a guy that's a early round draft pick, just don't screw it up. Go out there and perform at the level you're expected to. But someone like Lorenzo, who, if you look at most mock drafts, he's probably a late round pick if he's getting picked at all.
Right.
This can certainly help a guy like that. And we've seen that in the past. Like, you put on a show at the Combine and, you know, when you get to draft day, teams are taking notice earlier than they would have.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think John Ross was the biggest.
Yes. Yeah. That was the guy.
Benefactor of a fast 40 time for years. He had the fastest 40 time and was drafted. I don't exactly remember what pick he was in the first round.
I think it was 8th.
Yeah, got drafted by the Bengals.
Yeah,
right?
You just made all Bengals fans go,
I know.
ugh.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that to open the show, but he ran a 4.22, which was actually just broke a couple of years ago, last year, I think, by Xavier Worthy, who clocked in at a 4.21. So 1/100th of a second faster than him. I mean, but you're talking anytime in the 4.2s, like, buddy, that's moving. And if there's any other reason to draft Lorenzo Styles, like, he just helped himself out big time by doing what he did and proving it wasn't a fluke, like 4.28. Then he backed it up with another 4.28. That's pretty consistent for him. So great job by him. We got the DBs going today, Pat. You had the defensive linebackers go yesterday. Caden McDonald, Caden Curry not participating in the 40s. And then obviously, like we saw what Sonny and Arvell were doing, the official time for the Buckeyes, 4.46. was the official time, and I was watching a little bit earlier before I came into work today. Davison Igbinosun also running a 4.46. I don't know if he broke that in his second time or not.
His official time was 4.45.
Okay, so he got 1/100th of a second better than what his comrades did at the linebacker position, but still, I think it was it Rich Eisen who does all this stuff? He's like, the official time for the Ohio State Buckeyes, 4.46. You were there, Pat. What's your biggest thing kind of burning about the combine, whatever you have gleaned this week so far from being over in Indianapolis?
It's just how this team, this program, I guess I should say, continues to churn out this level of talent. You know, you had, 15 guys invited last year. Obviously then you had almost a record of guys taken in the draft. This was obviously not a rebuilding year because Ohio State doesn't do that, but you had to replace a lot of starters, and you still have 11 guys invited to the combine, and I would argue you should have had 12 because I think Tywan Malone should be there.
Agreed. I thought Tywan Malone, not necessarily that he played, in front of his skis this year, but everybody, including us, going into the season, I mean, we were talking about the defensive line depth and how that was going to be tested this year, and the one thought that we had, if you go back a year ago and kind of listen to us talk, it was about, Edric Houston's going to be a starter on this team. Edric Houston's going to be the guy in the interior next to Caden McDonald. Tywan Malone, for what it's worth, I mean, he outplayed Edric Houston, and there was a reason why he got more of the percentage of snaps on that defensive line than Edric did this year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I would be surprised if Tywan Malone's not drafted, assuming he can come to Ohio State's Pro Day next month or whenever it is.
I would anticipate him working out.
Well,
there.
yeah, I just mean him put on a show. But he's a guy, I mean, you talk about these physical, these drills that show off your physical ability. Like, this was a college baseball player too, right? Like, and you don't usually see football
in the
baseball.
SEC, which is a very good baseball conference.
Yeah, Ole Miss. So I think there's an opportunity for him there. But going back to the combine, yeah, it's just these guys. And then the way that, because the combine is, you see the on TV stuff, but we do the interviews, in the mornings, and these guys, and shouldn't be a surprise. I talk to them all the time, but they're just so well drilled. And one thing they all talked about was having Matt Patricia this year and how he got on Zooms with them from wherever they were in the country and walked them through the process of what they're going to be asked. And Lorenzo Styles, speaking of him, said everything that Matt Patricia told him about plays that they were going to pull up, good or bad, that was what he got. The questions that he was going to be asked, Matt Patricia knew it. So to have a guy who's been through this is another advantage of having Matt Patricia on this staff. And I think these guys were super well prepared. And I think you're obviously seeing what they're doing on the drill side of things. And I think that will continue over the next couple of days.
I also think it's going to be, not a competitive advantage for them necessarily, but it will also be an advantage too for some of these offensive guys. Not that Ryan Day can't talk to any GM in the country or any NFL head coach in the country if he decides to ring him up on his cell phone. I'm sure that, he has carte blanche to do whatever he wants there. But now you have Arthur Smith, Pat, on the offensive side, which coaches are very familiar with. The NFL coaching circle is a very tight, brotherhood. You see coaches, head coaches, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators get fired, recycled, kind of all over the place in the NFL. So to have that experience on the offensive side now going forward with the defensive side, again, not necessarily a competitive advantage, but when you get into these kind of situations where it is a unique experience, like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go over to Indy to the Combine, you know the physical things that you need to do. But some of these questions that these guys are answering in these interviews are so off the wall. So even just to have that to bounce off of Arthur Smith or Matt Patricia, that's got to be nice for them to have that to lean on.
I think they've cut back on some of that. Like a few guys I heard asked about, if they had any weird questions, and most guys said no. So I think teams have realized, some of that maybe not the most appropriate, but also like, let's get down to football. Let's learn about the person, those type of things. But yeah, it's a huge advantage to have somebody like that. And it's a good point by you of Arthur Smith. And you've had Brian Hartline went through this as a player. You have James Laurinaitis, you have Tim Walton. Both of those guys did as well. I know James Laurinaitis did. I assume Tim Walton was invited to the Combine, but I'd have to look that up. So you know what. You get a very good and kind of a broad sense of different perspectives on how to prepare for this. And then they've got teammates and everything that can help them out. Guys were talking to, recent Ohio State graduates. Jordan Hancock was brought up quite a bit. I think there was a Bills writer there that was asking Buckeye guys about Jordan Hancock and talking to them. And, I think that's an advantage too. Not every school produces talent like Ohio State does, so you don't have as many guys to go talk to and be like, hey, what am I about to get myself into?
Yeah, absolutely, right? And so as we come off of that, Lorenzo Styles, again, just running the 40-yard dash, you mentioned that inherent advantage as well. Like, if it's between you and another player from really whatever other school, and you see those guys succeeding in the NFL from an Ohio State perspective, I'm guessing that NFL GMs, head coaches, people in that war room for whatever NFL organization, they're probably going to have a higher likelihood of saying your name in the draft just because where you played college ball at.
Sure. I mean, even look at Indiana. Obviously, you win the national championship this past year, and they had several guys there, but the pedigree of Ohio State guys in the NFL, not to say there aren't some guys from Indiana that have made it, but it's not the same track record, right?
Of course.
And they don't have those... I'm sure there's coaches on staff. I don't know Indiana's whole staff, but I'm sure there's guys on there.
Antoine Randall probably for Indiana. That's like the one.
And I think he's on staff there, isn't he? I think
Is he?
He's definitely a coach now. I'd have to look, or you can look it up. But but yeah. So like you just have an advantage if you are, like you said, matching up with guys. The Ohio State program is obviously one that the teams know, hey, if we draft this guy, he's probably going to, be pretty good based on where we take him.
He's the assistant head coach and wide receivers coach for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, you should know that.
I should have known that.
That's close to Indiana.
They're going to be playing in Indiana.
Indiana Bears. So
Actually,
yeah, okay, I wasn't far off.
Yeah, he's an IU alum, and now he's going to be coaching the Gary Bears, which is great for him. Pat, we'll get some more of your biggest takeaways. Also, one Buckeye is extremely confident at the Combine. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
From the first whistle to the final play, being a Buckeye fan calls for commitment and support. Nature Made vitamins are your winning play. From the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, Nature Made is made to care for fans on game day and every day, so you can go all in on big wins, tough losses, and still show up for your team every time. Nature Made, proud vitamin and supplement sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round, and Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone. Now through March 2nd, you can get $5,000 customer cash on remaining new 25 Tundras. Or get 0.99 APR financing on Tundra plus $1,000 TFS APR cash. With approved credit through TFS, excludes TRD Pro. APR cash must be applied to deal. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, it's Common Man.
And T-Bone.
Pizza Madness is coming for your face.
Yeah, the brackets will be revealed March 2nd.
Why can't I say it?
I don't know.
PizzaMadness.pizza to suggest your favorite pizza place.
It's all brought to you by Billiards Plus.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We stay clear overnight into Saturday morning across central Ohio. Overnight lows at about 40 on Saturday, middle 50s with a lot of sunshine. Then we've got a clipper that races through late Saturday into Sunday morning with a few snow showers. Sunday's colder. We're going to be locked into the 30s. And then a storm system brushes us on Monday morning with a 40% chance of snow. That is your 97.1 The Fan weather forecast. I'm 10 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
Got my guy Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts hanging out with us this evening. Full 2 hours. Got a great show for you tonight. 6:30, we'll do some beers and Buckeyes. Stefan Krajisnik, Cleveland.com. He's going to join us here at 6:30, talk all things Combine, get his opinions, why he got yelled at by a member of the Boston media about asking Matt, I was going to say Matt Patricia, Mike Vrabel a question. And then coming up at 7:30, Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle. He's going to join the program, talk all things Ohio State as well. Pat, you have some breaking news for us on the Lorenzo Styles 40 time.
Yeah, Lorenzo Styles ran an official 4:27, which is 1 second faster than the unofficial time we were just talking about on the last segment.
0.01 seconds faster.
0.01
not
seconds.
a second, right?
Yeah, that's like the 19,000 Bruce Thornton point thing. It is the fastest time ever for a Buckeye at the Combine.
Wow.
Yes, and according to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors, he just tweeted this. It is the 9th fastest time ever for any player at the Combine and the fastest among defensive players at this year's Combine.
All right. Way to go, Zoe.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. I want to know from your perspective, and Justin Zwick and I were doing the show last night, and we set the over-under for Sonny and Arvell. He said 4.55, and I was like, I don't know, man. Not that it seems high, because that's obviously very fast, but they're large human beings. 6'4", 6'5", in the 238 to 245 range. I set it at 2-5 and under, and both of those guys going out and doing what they did. And we collectively as a group said last night before we got out to the Columbus Blue Jackets game against the Boston Bruins that everyone in their collective mind in the NFL media would be losing it, talking about the linebackers, their physicality, like all their traits when they do these drills. Nobody here, at least that I have talked to in the last 24 hours, is really that surprised that those two guys put on the show that they did. But even last night, Pat, when we were doing our show, I'm like, just watch the way that the NFL media reacts to what Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese are going to do here this evening. And I don't know if it's because we live in Buckeye bubble land and like we know exactly what these guys are. But if you've been living here or listening to us or watching Ohio State football for the last few years, you can see what Sonny Styles is, even going back to his high school time. Like, yeah, that guy's a freak athlete. If you give him 2 or 3 months to be able to get ready just to run a 40-yard dash and a 3-cone drill and whatever these NFL guys want him to do, he's probably going to succeed at a very high level.
Just look at his basketball tape.
I know, yeah. I mean, his basketball
it's all right
tape,
there.
His basketball tape's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I even saw Albert Breer tweet it out last night. He was like, yep, this is what you're getting if you draft an NFL. You draft Sonny Styles to your NFL team. Like, yeah, I don't think anybody was surprised, but I did think it was funny, like, at the time after these guys ran their 40-yard dashes last night, that everybody collectively in the NFL media was just out of control about what these guys did.
Right. And like, I think back to Sonny's recruitment, like obviously he was a 5-star can't miss type of guy. And part of that was just his pure athleticism. And so, I mean, I think the people that matter, the NFL people can recognize this, but yeah, I was surprised. I saw some people tweeting out like film from his plays this past year about just, you know, man, look at what this guy can do. It's like, well, yeah, he was a linebacker on the national championship team 2 years ago.
That
and
was
then
his
got
first year in the linebacker room as well. Arvell Reese has been in the linebacker room longer than Sonny has.
Yes. Yeah, and so, yeah, I was surprised that people weren't more, like, this seemed like an obvious thing that both Sonny and Arvell, but obviously Sonny's been around and kind of in the limelight longer. This is an area where both of them should shine just because of their physical gifts, and that has nothing that doesn't take away anything from what they can do on the football field. So, yeah, I was surprised, but, you know, I guess not everyone, like you said, pays attention as closely as we do. And when you're on a defense with Caleb Downs and with, you know, some of the guys last year and like that, like, everybody kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit when especially if you're just kind of casually watching games for entertainment and not really diving into who's doing what. So good news is everyone knows now.
Do you know what the RAS is, Pat?
No.
The relative athletic score.
Oh, I did. Okay, I did.
So that is something that NFL teams look at, and there's an algorithm that some nerd puts into a computer. Like Meredith would love to do this, right? And it just punches out like an algorithm that gives you a score. So 10.00 is the highest that you can possibly get on this like algorithm score for what you do in the combine. And it's literally just relative athletic score. I would score a 0.1, all right, on this RAS. Sonny Styles at the end of last evening, and this is before he did, I think it was his cone drill, all right, but vertical jump was crazy. Broad jump, it was crazy. Like 40-yard dash, we know it was crazy. Before he did his 3-cone drill, Sonny Styles was officially at a 10.00 on the relative athletic scale, which is the perfect score that you can get. Now, I was reading this from 1987 to 2026, so nearly 40 years of data have gone into this score. Now, that's not projecting how they will be in the NFL or what they're going to be moving forward at this next level. This is just straight up combine numbers. Out of 3,215 linebackers that were, I guess, marked and this criteria was put into this system, Sonny Styles ranked number 1 out of 3,215 linebackers since 1987 to 2026. Now, by the end of the night, he was down to number 4 because of his 3-cone drill. But at one point, Sonny Styles was the literally the freakiest linebacker to ever participate in the combine. Now, I know that we're all familiar with Sonny and what he can do. I don't know if I was expecting that. Number 1 out of 3,217. That's a whole different level what Sonny did last night.
Oh, absolutely. Who is number 1? Do you know?
I don't have that in front of me.
I believe, and I could be wrong here, but I know he's in this group. I believe it's one AJ Hawk. Because
I saw different there were different things. So I don't know if that was the relative athletic score or if it was like projected grades, because I saw Sonny ranks 4 all time in this, and number 1 and number 2 were Brian Urlacher and Luke Kuechly.
Okay.
I mean, that's also very good company.
Yes.
That's crazy names.
I think AJ's was like the draft grade or like the draft prospect grade, and I think he was at like a 99 out of 100.
Yes.
So different scales. Yeah. I don't know what they're measured on, but yeah, Sonny coming in. Well, I guess he's not number 4. He's at number 3 out of 3,217 linebacker prospects between 1987 and 2026. He only trails Brian Urlacher and Luke Kuechly on the RAS score.
Good company.
So if you're comparing 2 guys, that's pretty good. And also Brian Urlacher played safety in college, and Luke Kuechly was an absolute monster in high school and then in college, and then you saw what a sicko he was in the pros. So he just made himself a lot of money by doing what he did last night at the Combine. Not that he wasn't already, that he wasn't going to be a top 10, top 15 pick. Now you're talking about like someone's probably going to take Sonny top 5. And Jacob, what we were talking about last night about 3 Ohio State players going into the top 5, not that it's a certainty, but it seems like it's probably it's a higher likelihood that it's going to happen than it probably won't.
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being 4 with Carnell Tate, because like he's being projected to go, I think, number 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
I had someone tell me at the Combine that they believe on their board Sonny is the best guy coming out of Ohio State. Not that he will get drafted as the highest guy,
sure,
but that like his career and the way that they sort of evaluate it, that Sonny is the guy that they think will be the best of this group, and that's saying something given the talent that's in this draft from the Buckeyes.
Well, you have to go back. Like, this is a guy who's been playing linebacker for 2 years.
Yeah,
2 years, and he's already not doing what he needs to do physically at the Combine. Like, that's, less than 1% of what he probably needs to do to impress these coaches and GMs. But you turn on the tape, man, and you go from watching a dude who was reclassified out of high school, like he was, 17 years old?
Yeah.
When he stepped foot onto Ohio State's campus. You're getting a young prospect anyways.
Right.
Like, he should just now be going into his junior season at Ohio State. He's played 2 years at linebacker, and all of a sudden, a guy who flashes like that athletically, I'm pretty sure that NFL coaches can work with the mold that is Sonny Styles.
I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up the best one from this class because of his leadership, how smart he is.
Absolutely.
Like, everything is there for him to skyrocket and be an all-time NFL player, I think. Like, everything is there for him.
Well, and let's not forget, we're talking about advantages Buckeyes have. He and his brother have one big advantage, and that's their father, who was an NFL player himself, right?
Yes.
Played linebacker. And Lorenzo was talking about, somebody asked, like, how about his dad's career, and he was like, my dad didn't talk about it a lot. They had, his jersey in the basement and his Super Bowl ring and things like that. He's like, but what he did do is the discipline. You guys are getting up early. We're going to train. Like, that was something that was instilled in these guys from the time they were born. So, if you've ever seen Lorenzo Styles Sr., he's built closer to Sonny than he is his namesake in Lorenzo Jr.
Built Diffie.
Yes, but they also have this work ethic and everything it takes to be successful at this level, which helps as well.
Pat, we had Beers and Buckeyes with you last week when we were in Portland. You're back in the studio. We're going to head back out to Indianapolis, I believe.
Somewhere in Indiana. Yeah.
Stefan Krajisnik of Cleveland.com. We'll have Beers and Buckeyes with him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This weekend, I'm inviting you behind the scenes. Stop by our open house at Rosati Windows and see why we are the #1 replacement window company in Central Ohio. Visit our showroom and meet the people who stand behind our reputation. Then tour our factory and see all that goes into manufacturing our top-rated window. Visit this weekend and save 35% on windows ordered by March 31st. We're easy to find at 4200 Roberts Road, just east of 270.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Drink up, Slappy. It's time for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick Murphy.
A tradition unlike any other. Pat is in studio with us tonight. So instead, because he's here, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, check in with our good friend. He is of Cleveland.com. He is Stefan Krajisnik. Stefan, thanks for the time. Where in the world are you at? Are you still at the Combine? Have you left? Are you traveling home? What's going on, Stefan?
I'm not in Indianapolis anymore. I've made my way out of the Indianapolis Convention Center gracefully, and I'm in Northwest Indiana right now. I could say I'm visiting family. I could also say that I'm checking out the new home of the Chicago Bears and getting ready for them to move on over to Hammond.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you if you're doing some scouting location missions to see where the Bears are going. Are you going back to visit family this weekend, Stefan? Is that where you're going?
Yeah. I figured. Well, with spring ball coming up, I guess I can make some time for other people in my life.
That's really nice of you.
You spend so much time with Patrick Murphy 1 week. It's like I need a cleanse.
Yeah, you really do. That was a good call on your part. Speaking of the Combine, Stefan, what was the favorite thing, the thing that stood out to you the most that you heard from any of the guys there? It doesn't even have to be a Buckeye, I guess. What stood out to you?
I think one thing that was pretty interesting is talking to a lot of these defensive players and seeing the impact that Matt Patricia made in such a short amount of time already at Ohio State. He was at the Combine. I think people saw. I think NFL Network showed him on camera at one point while the linebackers were working out yesterday. So, I think what's interesting with him is it's no secret that Ohio State always produces great NFL talent, right? And on the defensive side of the ball too, right? Like that's never going to change, and that's always been the case. But I do think it's interesting to kind of go through this now with the defensive coordinator who has so much NFL experience, right? And does having him as a defensive coordinator help a guy who was going to be a fifth rounder become a fourth rounder? Does it help a guy who, was maybe a fringe first rounder become a solidified guy, right? Like what impact does it have, for a player to not just learn a high level, collegiate defense, but to also do it with a coordinator who has such extensive knowledge of what NFL teams are going to be looking for. And that's not, that's just talking about on the field. Off the field too, I thought it was really interesting. Sonny Styles and Lorenzo Styles both gave us some pretty good insight on, Matt Patricia going through these mock interviews and making sure guys were prepared for what they're going to face, in these NFL, combine settings. I think Lorenzo, I asked him at one point, you went through the mock interviews with Matt Patricia. how similar is it to what you're now seeing in these interviews with NFL teams? And he was like, yeah, it's pretty spot on. I think Matt Patricia has pretty good experience doing this stuff. So whatever mock questions he had, I'm sure a lot of those same questions were asked to these players. So that's a cool part about this. And it's not even just the defensive players. On whatever day it was, I lose track of days. I think it was Thursday. I was leaving the convention center, and in the hallway, I saw Matt Patricia, and he was talking to C.J. Donaldson and, asking if he needed anything. And C.J. talked a bit today about the impact that Patricia had even on guys like him, right? Like he would talk to C.J. about, here's what defenders are looking on certain plays and what the running back should know. So he's a guy who, has been here, a 12 months now and has made an impact all throughout the roster, not even just the defense, and has gotten these guys prepared for the NFL.
He is Stefan Krajisnik of Cleveland.com with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Stefan, I asked Pat this a little bit earlier. Did it surprise you at all the way that Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese performed at the Combine? Because I don't think here in Central Ohio or to any Ohio State fan, it really surprised them what they did. But you saw like the entirety of NFL media explode last night when those guys were going through their drills.
Yeah, it was crazy. Those two guys became the talk of the town. Walking through some of the festivities in Indianapolis last night, there was a couple places where I walked in and you could overhear, whether they're agents or scouts or whoever they are that's hanging out, talking about Sonny Styles' vertical jump or Arvell Reese's 40-yard dash. The people in Indianapolis were really enamored with what was going on with those two guys. I mean, it sounds kind of brash, but I'm sure a lot of people in Columbus who are listening to this probably agree. It's not too surprising, right? We knew these guys were athletic freaks and also possessed, kind of the mental fortitude that it takes to play, their positions at a high level. So it's not too surprising, but I think it's cool to see them kind of on that stage and get that level of recognition. People knew who they were, right? They were projected top 15, but when you see it like that, I think it kind of solidifies, what these, draft analysts, whatever it may be, have been talking about. So it's pretty cool to kind of see them, highlighted on the stage like that. And I kind of, not that I had forgotten, but I didn't really think about the fact that, Sonny was such a good basketball player. So it's not too surprising, I guess, to see him break the vertical jump record. But when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this dude probably knows how to dunk a basketball. So I shouldn't be too surprised.
He definitely does know how to dunk a basketball. He may not even have to jump very high. You don't need however high he jumped there. Stefan, let's say the Bears weren't as good as they were last year and they were drafting near the top of the draft and they asked you who you would take of these Buckeyes. Which guy do you think would come off the board first if you were making the call?
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario in which the Bears drafted the top 10. It's been so long. I've been very high on Arvell Reese for a while now. My first year on the beat pad was that 2024 season, and we saw the glimpses of what Arvell could be. And it's tough when you got Cody Simon and Sonny Styles out there to kind of get your playing time, but you could kind of see the athleticism that was like, man, when this guy gets his opportunity, it might click. And I was thinking he could be, all Big Ten, maybe all American type player, but to be the number 2 projected player, I don't know if I would have gone that far. So I've been so high on it for so long, but you kind of watch what Sonny's doing and you're reminded of the physical traits. And I thought, one thing that he pointed out that was interesting is just talking about, his junior year, he felt like he showed what he could do getting after the passer and kind of being, the outside guy. And then, being the middle linebacker now this past year and kind of doing some of that stuff. I think he showed the level of versatility he has at the position. I think he's a really smart player, right? I think he knows how to read the field really well. He's experienced. He's seen, NFL, or he's seen, what it's like to play defense on multiple levels, right? Kind of coming up as a safety initially. So I'd probably still lean Arvell just because I guess the Bears specifically kind of need an edge rusher, but also, it's the NFL. If you can get an edge rusher, you're going to take it. But the idea of Sonny is growing on me more and more. And I think yesterday, his performance at the Combine definitely bolstered some of that.
Is that where you see Arvell kind of fitting in the NFL, Stefan, as primarily an edge rusher? And I don't even know if I describe an edge rusher as like a position, but more of a defensive end linebacker hybrid than your traditional off-ball linebacker?
I think so, probably. I think he would probably get after the quarterback and pass rush maybe more than he did last year at Ohio State. But I think, people want to compare. The Micah Parsons comparison comes up a lot, right? And of what he can do there. I think he would drop in coverage a little more than Micah does, though. I think he's better in coverage too. So I think you're probably right, but it would be interesting because there is a level of versatility there that I think not a lot of guys have at that edge spot.
If you were to wager the vast Krajisnik estate on the amount of Ohio State players who are going to go in the top 5 of April's NFL draft, what's the number you ultimately land on, Stefan?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll say 2. I think it'll be Arvell, and I think Sonny's going to make his way up to the top 5. So I'll say 2. I think Carnell is interesting because I think he's the best receiver, and I think because of Ohio State's kind of run here for receiver success, that some teams are going to want it. There's a lot of good edge rushers in this draft, at least at the top, and there's some pretty good tackles at the top that I just think because of positional value, a receiver like Tate or a safety like Caleb Downs might drop, to maybe somewhere between 7 and 10. So I'll say 2 go in the top 5, but I do think we see 4 go in the top 10.
Stefan, are you a shrimp cocktail guy?
I'm not. I'm not. Did you try it? Did they have it in the media room today?
They did, and I'm not one either. We went to. Are
you guys scared of it, or you just don't like it like traditionally?
I have had it once before, and it just lights your face on fire.
Yes, it does.
We went to St. Elmo's the first night, and everyone I was with got it except me. So I was wondering if Stefan, if you tried it today, but it doesn't sound like you did.
No. Indiana's a weird state. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on. At one point, while I was at school at IU, like they would do halftime of the basketball game, and you always get those like food eating contests, and they did like a St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail, and it was like, I mean, the dude when he would walk off the court, he's a champion when they, when the camera's on him, and then the video board pans away, and you're watching him like walk toward the tunnel, and you're like, that dude is not going to feel good today.
No, absolutely not. I've had it one time as well. It's the only time I've been to St. Elmo, and I'm pretty good like with horseradish or wasabi, like that immediate burn. But yeah, that stuff lit me on fire.
Yeah, I've had it other places where I like it. I did see Joey Chestnut at the Big Ten championship game one year do a shrimp cocktail eating contest.
Well, he's a machine.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah.
Stefan, before we get you out of here this evening, which bar is going to be the closest in your home to the Gary, Indiana Bears if you're doing a scouting location tonight?
That's a good question because, I'll give a shameless plug to some family friends because they own a pretty good establishment here in Northwest Indiana. It's called, people in Columbus actually going to recognize the name. It's called Our Bar.
Okay.
Okay.
It's literally the same spelling and everything as the one right outside Nationwide there. But no, I don't think there's any relation. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying this out loud and now someone's going to get sued for like copyright or something like that. But it's, they have, your kind of your basic food that you want, at a bar like that, and obviously great, TV setup for games or whatever it may be. But they've also, because of their ownership, got a little bit of Serbian food mixed in there, which means a little more for me. So that'll be my plug. Yeah, you talk about the Krajisnik estate earlier. Let's get the Bears to Northwest Indiana. Maybe that estate starts to grow a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Good luck in your scouting mission and visiting your family up there this weekend. And we will check in again soon, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
There you go. Stefan Krajisnik, Cleveland.com with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. It's a huge Sunday for both the men's and women's Ohio State basketball team. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Chronic pain can make life feel impossible, but at QC Kinetics, there's a breakthrough that's giving people real hope. Stem wave therapy.
It has fundamentally changed the way I look at cases after 30 years in practice. So when we talk about regenerative medicine, we're talking about these types of devices.
That's Dr. Tony DeCesaro, one of the nation's authorities on stem wave therapy.
Been around for about 30 years in Europe. Now it's really taken a real foothold. People are tired of just using pills that really cover everything up and they don't really heal.
This device is both diagnostic and therapeutic, helping the medical team at QC Kinetics find the problem and trigger your body's natural healing response.
It's about giving hope, right? That there are options.
QC Kinetics. Harness the power of stem wave and get relief now. Call for your consultation here in Columbus, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
The Reds are on the the grab. Noel V. Marte. Ellie De La Cruz is on his horse, and they're waving him to the house.
Suarez swings. He drives this.
It is gone. Eugenio Suarez puts the Reds on top.
With an old friend back in the clubhouse, it's time for spring training baseball. Hear the action on your home of the Reds.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State National Championship quarterback and former CareSource kid, Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. Seeing that CareSource heart around town, I just knew they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. This is so much more than health insurance. CareSource, today and always. Trusted. Visit caresource.com.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 12th at the 2026 Ohio State 4-Miler, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down a tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. You can also get access to the home locker room and meet some of your favorite Buckeye student athletes. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostateformiler.com. Go Bucks!
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
You know, my guy Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts with us here this evening. We're going to let you know that our fan poll, sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. We'll get to that at the very end of the show. And we here on the Buckeye Show, sponsored by our good friends over at CareSource. Pat, how do you feel about the Ohio State men's basketball team going into Sunday's home tilt against the Boilermakers of Purdue?
Man, the other night was not reassuring at all. If you are hoping the Buckeyes, A, can pull off that upset, and B, make the NCAA tournament, you really needed...
I think these two go hand in hand now at this point.
And just last night with Purdue losing to Michigan State at home.
Yeah. That doesn't help. You get
We springboarded Michigan State.
Yeah.
We springboarded.
Yes.
You get an angry Purdue team coming in that had been playing a little bit better of late. I say that I think they only have like 5 losses this season or something. I was talking... 6 losses, okay. I was talking to Nathan Baird, who used to cover Ohio State and is now covering Purdue at the Combine, and he said, like, this is a team that's played down to its opponent a lot this year, per Nathan, and he was like, I would not be surprised on a Sunday afternoon with sort of a weird start time, because it's, 1:30,
it's a
right?
1:30 start.
Yeah, instead of the 1, and just, you never know. I mean, hopefully the shot is rocking, and people bought tickets before that Iowa game. But he was saying he would not be surprised if Ohio State, at the very least, keeps it a game. But I don't know, man. After that start against Iowa,
I think that's bare minimum what you need to do on Sunday.
I don't know if I'm more surprised by that statement or that there's Purdue players at the Combine.
What, that Purdue, that he's surprised that if
That
Ohio State would give Purdue
Ohio
a
State
game?
could win that, or that there's Purdue players there in Indy.
To be fair, when I saw Nathan, he was waiting to talk to Max Clare. So
okay.
I do think Purdue may have had a couple players there, but it's a quick drive. So he actually was covering that Purdue Michigan State game that night. So it's not like he had to go very far. But anyway, I do think. Look, it's put up or shut up time for this team, right? Yeah. And the other night was an opportunity to put up and at least like go on the road and compete like you did against Michigan State. And look, a loss wouldn't have felt any better regardless of the margin. But you come out of that game. I mean, what was it? They're up 15-4,
14-2,
or 14-2
at the very beginning. Yeah,
and then give up a 34-2 run or something. Yeah, I don't have the numbers.
35-9.
There you go. There you go. And I was watching it. We went to a bar to find somewhere that had Big Ten Network.
Beers and Buckeyes.
And it was me, Steve Hellwagon, Marcus Hartman, and then Dan Hope and Andy Anders from the 11 Warriors. And we're watching that. We're watching the women's game too. And it was just it just went from really good for both teams to what is going on? It was
a trudge through the mud.
I remember just sitting here freaking out with you, Beamer, when Mobley hits those first two, one from the logo, and then Bynum hits his two.
Oh my God, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, what are we on right now? This is what we've been waiting for. And then the adjustment by Ben McCollum, they did not respond to after that.
I think the adjustment by Ben McCollum and also maybe the lack of adjustments by this Ohio State team, you just saw, it was just a tidal wave.
Oh, you didn't John Mobley defending their center for a majority of the game?
And these these things happen, right? It's college basketball, and that's why we love it, because these teams go on runs in the home buildings. They get into the game, and it can be so crazy from one media timeout to the other. But you were always expecting Ohio State, at least at some point, to punch back and stop that run. And they never did. And even going into halftime, what were they down? They were down 13 points, I think. I was like, dude, if you guys can cut it to single digits, and then there's 12 minutes left to go in the game, and if you're at a 9-point deficit, then you're down to a 6, and then a 4, and then all of a sudden, who the hell knows what's going to happen in a single or two possession game towards the end of the stretch. But Purdue... Or not Purdue. I'm looking at Purdue on the schedule for Sunday. Iowa, they came out and they kind of big broed you, man. They put their hand on your forehead and you were trying to swing to get to them and you just never could. You were never able to get back in that basketball game, which was crazy.
I remember Ron mentioning early in the second half, I think it was after the first media timeout, they had an opportunity to where it could have been within single digits by that first media timeout. And it's just simple defensive mistakes where they're getting wide open layups, and it's especially when you're back. I know Tilly was on the bench; he's dealing with the thing now too. But you still had your core, you still had Amari Bynum, and so you had some of your depth back then. And it's if you're having these defensive mistakes this late in the season, that could be a major issue.
Yeah, and
I think it is a major issue.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. And the defense had been better of late.
Yes.
Now, I think a few things. One, and I like Jake Diebler. I think you have to give a first-time head coach time, and I know Ohio State fans don't want to hear that. And I know there are different philosophies on this, but not taking timeouts during that run, I think, was a huge mistake. You had time, and they end up taking too late in that run, but you got to stop it earlier for my money. And then I think they didn't do a good enough job of avoiding some of those matchups. I mentioned Mobley on their big man, and I say big man in quotes because Iowa's not that big, and you couldn't take advantage of that. But they were doing a good job of getting the matchups they wanted, and there was no response from Ohio State. And then Taysom Chapman doesn't give you much. No one gave you much. Bruce Thornton wasn't
as aggressive as what he's been.
No, and look, after what he's had to do all season, too many times this season. I imagine he's pretty worn out. And this is the career for Bruce Thornton, right?
Yeah.
And I saw some people he wants to play in the NCAA tournament and this is what he does. It's I don't know how much that guy's got left in him after the course of the season and all the guys that have been out and whatnot. But this was what you couldn't do, is have it look so bad. At least if you lost, people are going to be upset and whatnot, but you compete and things like that, and you could at least somewhat hang your hat on that. now you've got to, you almost have to come out and, like you said, Beam, either keep it close or win this game on Sunday. Because
I mean, again, you're not in a moral victory portion of the season right now. Like, you are up against the ropes.
It's must
up against
win
the
time.
proverbial wall. Like, you've got to pretty much win this game on Sunday, unless you're planning, and I know that they're not planning on doing this, unless you're planning on winning your last 2 games of the regular season and then winning at least 2, maybe 3 games in the Big Ten tournament. Like, that's, break the fire alarm, break the glass, pull the fire alarm situation. But you lose to this game on Purdue, and you even look close to what you looked like against Iowa earlier in the week. I don't know, man. It's going to be that would be devastating if that happened.
It's definitely not going to be easy, especially like we mentioned. Like, Purdue's going to come into this one angry. They just lost that game at Mackey, and they don't lose many games at Mackey.
I think Ohio State's going to be angry, man. They just got embarrassed on the road at Iowa.
No, I completely agree with that. There's similarities with this Purdue team and Michigan State team to where they can compete, but Purdue's a better shooting team. I don't know what the extent of Christoph Tilley's injury is, if he's even going to be available for this game, but I feel like it's a where you can utilize some smaller lineups and get Trey Coffin-Wren and Oscar Clough on the perimeter, because if you look back at that Illinois game when Keaton Wagler went for 46, that's what he did best, was getting those mismatches with Trey Coffin-Wren and Oscar Clough on the perimeter. Like, they can't guard out there. If you get Bruce Thornton in that action, John Mobley Jr. in that action, that could be where your success is in this game.
Yeah, I would have to think that they're going to try to expose Purdue as much as they possibly can. Like, that's the matchup that you're looking at, right? Like, it's got to be. And you're in front of a home crowd, and it's a Sunday. It's a 1:30 start, Pat. I know that you mentioned it's weird, but, like, that's still prime time. You know, like Sunday afternoon. It's a big game. Purdue's looking forward to getting back on the floor after getting beat by Michigan State. Ohio State certainly looking forward to getting back on the floor after getting embarrassed on the road at Iowa. You've got to, at this point, if you get blown out at home like it was a few weeks ago at Ohio State, or at home against Michigan, I don't know what that's going to look like come Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening.
Well, and I think you will tell how much this team, what fight is left in them, right? Because if they don't come out and compete, and if it looks like what it did the other night at Iowa, like, some serious questions have to be asked about locker room and things like that, because this team has been close enough in all these games, and you can't just falter down the stretch now that, one game went wrong and things didn't go your way.
And again, if there's any positive to take away from the Iowa performance, which I'm not here to argue that there is, but you flush it, like, immediately. Like, you don't dwell on it. You can't even think about it in the performance. So, like, from their mental state, like, no, we're not even going back and looking at the film for what we did wrong. Like, that's a game where you flush it and you get it out of your system as quick as possible. Like, when you duck hook one off of the first tee box on a golf course. Like, nope, can't do it. You got the rest of the round in front of you.
Breakfast ball.
Yeah, you need to forget it. And unfortunately, it wasn't a breakfast ball because that one did count for real. But a huge game coming up on Sunday at 1:30 back home in the friendly confines of the Schottenstein Center. One commissioner in college athletics wants to go back to the one-time transfer. That's in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you could save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite competition CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5 each. Order your favorite $5 Pizza Pals from Donatos.com today. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donatos. Gotta love more.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. The Dallas Cowboys placed a franchise tag on the wide receiver George Pickens today to secure him through 2026. Pickens led Dallas with 1,429 yards on 93 catches and 9 touchdowns last season. It's the defensive back's turn today at the NFL Draft Combine. Ohio State DB Lorenzo Styles Jr. recorded an official 40-yard dash time of 4.27 seconds. That is the fastest time ever for a Buckeye at the Combine. College basketball tonight in the top 25. Third-ranked Michigan is at number 10 Illinois. A win for Michigan would give them an outright Big Ten regular season title. And undefeated Miami of Ohio looks to make it 29-0 on the season at Western Michigan. They're currently trailing the Broncos 30-26 at halftime. This update is sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing services when you buy a new water heater. Visit geteco.com and book today. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour number 2 of the program for us here on a Friday. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. You can always watch the show on YouTube. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out in the YouTube chat tonight. 971 The Fan. That's what you type in. Live and local all day long. You can also get the beat from Austin and Berm, snap judgments, all kinds of different stuff on there. Like and subscribe to that. Reimer, you just mentioned the Miami Redhawks looking to go to 29-0 this season, currently trailing. Also heard that their guard, Luke Skaljic, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Set to undergo testing tomorrow on what is feared to be a broken wrist.
Oh, no.
So I don't know exactly what's going on for Miami. That's not great news
He's
for them.
He's a crucial piece.
But it doesn't look great.
Their point guard.
For Miami if they lose him.
And I felt like he had March name all over that.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. Like he would 100% be a guy that just lights it up. He's awesome.
Like a Golke the other year, right?
Could be, yeah, Golke, yeah. Lit up Cal, ended the Cal era at Kentucky.
Oakland? He was in Oakland,
I was at Oakland.
Okay.
Greg Gempe.
Yeah, that's right. Pat, how excited are you for as we get into March? I know it's Reimer's favorite time of the year. You got other things you need to worry about.
2 days.
You got other things you need to worry about in your adult life.
It's March still.
Yeah, I know you'll be watching everything, but we're set to get into conference tournaments here next week, and then the week after is the Big Ten tournament. So all kinds of great college basketball coming down the stretch here.
Yeah, it's great. This is an awesome time of year. It's like what bowl season used to be. We talked about that around then. It's got a different feel now, but I think once you get into conference tournament, there's games on just all day. It's great.
Oh, yes.
It'd be fun if there was Ohio State to cover in the NCAA tournament.
Well,
but,
we'll see what happens Sunday against Purdue.
Yeah, it's been a while, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And,
it's been a while. Been too long.
Yeah, it's definitely been too long. So let's hope they can get that done.
If they go to the tournament, are you guys going?
At least Steve Hellwagon will go.
Okay.
I've actually never covered the tournament in person. I've covered like games here that weren't Ohio State. But
About
yeah,
the bubble year.
No, Steve went.
You didn't go to that one?
Yeah, we usually just send one guy because a lot of times it's a lot of travel.
Is 2021 a bubble? Were we playing in a bubble in 2021?
Yes, that was the Oral Roberts.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about the Oral Roberts year.
I think we all should. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for bringing that up.
Yeah, Dwayne, EJ, number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just didn't get smoked in that game, but Max Asmus just went crazy. I completely blanked on the Oral Roberts here. Just absolutely
It wasn't a real year. It was not a real year.
Yeah. Nothing has felt right since then either. Nothing feels correct.
Do you by chance remember, because that was in Indy, everything there, and they had, I think it's on the Marriott there, they had like an actual bracket on the outside of the building.
Yeah, on the JW.
I saw Stefan actually tweet about that earlier today. They were putting that up here.
They're putting it back
this
up
morning.
Yeah, he brought that up to me today or yesterday. Yes, they were starting to get it going. I spent a decent amount of time at the JW Marriott Hotel Bar.
Nice.
There you go.
Must be nice to go to the JW Marriott.
That right there is one of many reasons why the Final Four should always be in Indy.
Yeah.
Should never leave.
Isn't something in Indy this year? Part of the tournament?
Final Four is.
Is it the Final Four?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's back in Indy?
Yeah.
Every Big Ten championship should also be played in Indianapolis.
It's in Chicago this year.
I know, but I'm saying tournaments should be played there. Big Ten championship in football, everything for the Big Ten should be played in Indy for the rest
Isn't
of the time.
football going to Vegas soon?
We don't know that.
That's not confirmed, but I think there's a sneaking suspicion with what they did last year for the Big Ten Media Days when you were out there that maybe or maybe not that was a test run to see.
I think there's at least a couple more years still in Indy.
Doesn't the Pac-12 do the title game in Vegas on that Friday night? Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. It's the Pac-2 now. Yeah. They don't have a conference championship game anymore. Who's doing the conference tournament in Vegas? Who's doing the conference tournament in Vegas?
That's the West Coast Conference.
That's right.
Gonzaga, St. Mary's, Santa Clara. Big week for Santa Clara that week.
Yeah.
They're on the bubble.
Yeah, Christoph Tilley's old team. Hopefully he can play on Sunday. Reimer, what do you have for us tonight?
So, Greg Sankey is making his headlines again. He's calling for a one-time transfer rule. So he was on the broadcast of the Georgia and Texas women's basketball game, and he's talking about wanting to go back to a one-time transfer rule instead of just unlimited what it is now. And he says my advocacy would be, hey, we should be back to some type of one-time transfer exception. He said that during the second quarter, but we have to support educational continuity if we truly believe that academics is the heart of what we do, and I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah, I agree with him in principle, and for years and years and years, he advocated for the student athlete. It's like, well, if normal students can transfer without penalty, like why can't student athletes? But I think now with tampering and everything that is kind of going on, and again, we look at this so much, at least in our lens, from a football and men's basketball perspective, right? 90% of the time when we're talking about the scope of college athletics, at least for me personally, Pat, that's where I'm looking at when it comes to this kind of thing. And I do think it would be, beneficial for the sport as a whole, for programs, if you have a one-time transfer rule. Let's say that, I don't know, name a random Ohio State player. Just a random one. Doesn't matter. Football, basketball, doesn't matter.
Riley Pettijohn. Let's say Riley Pettijohn got in the transfer portal and wanted to transfer to Miami, right? And then plays there for a year, maybe doesn't work out for whatever reason. Coach leaves. There's just so many different options that could happen. And then he wants to leave again because he's getting a higher offer to go to, Texas Tech or somewhere. I don't know. I do think inherently, when you had that 1 year rule of players not being able to play with the immediate eligibility, it did stop these things. I'm not saying that every case isn't different
in this, but I understand certainly where Greg Sankey is coming from. But until you get a collective bargaining agreement, there's just no way that that's ever going to hold up in a court of law, because you're talking about student athletes and you're not restricting students to transfer anywhere else in the country. But you mean to tell me that you're going to do it to an athlete just because he's got a better financial opportunity? And so until all of that changes, and I'm sure that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti and any of these commissioners, Jim Phillips, have a better idea of what to do at the bargaining table with these athletes, it's not going to happen. It sounds great in principle. I don't have the answers to it. Like, certainly it would help college athletics at this point, but you're too far gone and removed unless you come to the table on a CBA, which is a whole different wormhole that you're opening up.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, to your point, but I do think there needs to be a way. You can't have free agency with every player every offseason.
Correct.
It's just absurd. And we talked about it a lot when the transfer portal was open with football. And I get it. Like, you're right. A student can transfer, but that doesn't mean that they can do the same thing that they did at the last year. Like, sometimes credits don't transfer. Like, there are things that when you transfer, you get limited. So if playing the sport isn't a right, it's a privilege that you earn by being good and earning that scholarship and all that. But just to say because another student can transfer, like, I think that argument made more sense when you were talking about guys needing to be paid because a student could get a job doing something in their field that they're working on, right?
Yeah.
But transferring, like, you could put some limits on that because it is something that you don't inherently get, and not every student is doing it, right? So, but I agree with you. The genie's out of the bottle, and it's going to be hard to get it back in now that you've opened this can of worms.
Reimer, what just happened over there? I saw you with your hands up in the air, hands on your head.
I don't know if Travis Steele just got tossed, but they showed him, and he was clearly upset and was arguing at the officials, and he was pointing at them. I think I saw "you suck" or something like that. And he's walking off, going into the tunnel. I don't know if it was halftime. I know it is halftime, but I don't know if this just happened or if he's tossed. But as he's walking down the tunnel, he launches himself into the DJ's speaker.
Nice.
And knocks that to the ground. And I think says something to a police officer as he's walking back into the tunnel.
Holy smokes.
It was he's still on the sideline, so it happened at halftime.
Okay.
But
so he's fine.
He got teed up because they're shooting free throws here to start the second half.
Okay. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on today.
That was nuts.
And also, if you were an NFL GM, we're going to take a little break. I want you to think about this during the break. If you were an NFL GM, you had the pick of the litter of which Buckeye to take in this year's draft for your favorite NFL team, who would it be? We're going to do that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on a delicious roast. Right now, USDA Choice Boneless Chuck Roasts are on sale for only $6.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Newman Roofing, we believe every detail matters, which is why we have over 1,000 five-star Google reviews from families all across Central Ohio who have put their trust in Newman Roofing for their roofing, siding, and gutter projects. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Optimized IT, the managed services division of Modern Office Methods. With our cutting-edge managed IT services, we bring proven management strategies to the table to support your current IT team. That's not all. Our experienced team provides insight on how to maximize efficiency, helping you achieve your goals faster. Concerned about security? Our backup solutions help guarantee your data is protected around the clock, giving you peace of mind. Start at OptimizedIT.net for your free IT assessment. Stay ahead, stay secure, and stay optimal.
This is Paul Keels for RV Wholesalers. Peace of mind. That's what you get when purchasing your next RV from RV Wholesalers. With every new RV purchase, Ohio residents receive the exclusive Buckeye Service Guarantee. If your RV is in the shop, RV Wholesalers will give you a free loaner. Also with a Buckeye Service Guarantee, you'll receive free delivery in the state of Ohio and 3-day RV exchange. That's the exclusive Buckeye service guarantee. Only at RV Wholesalers in Lakeview, Mansfield, Delaware, and RVW.com. RV Wholesalers, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Jackets are back in Nationwide for a battle with the Islanders. Live fan coverage starts Saturday at 5:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone. Now through March 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 26 Corolla or Corolla Hybrid. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a new gas-powered Corolla LE for $199 a month or 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Oh, Saturday is looking really nice. A lot of sunshine and still mild with highs in the middle 50s. We got a cold front that moves through late Saturday into very early Sunday with a few snow showers. Sunday's going to be colder with highs in the 30s and turning partly sunny. Then a storm system puts us right on the periphery with some snow showers possible. It's about a 40% chance on Monday morning. That is your 97.1 The Fan weather forecast. I'm 10 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
You know, my guy Pat Murphy of Bucknuts with us. Thanks everybody for tuning in, watching here this evening. Colin said on the YouTube chat, fellas, did I miss the Boston versus Cleveland beef from the Combine? What happened, Pat?
All right, we did not address that with Stefan. There were three of us, myself, Stefan, and Dan Hope from 11 Warriors, who went to the Mike Vrabel press conference, and we all asked...
Super Bowl participating coach Mike Vrabel.
Former Buckeye defensive lineman.
NFL Coach of the Year.
Yep. Should we keep going? Played for the Chiefs.
Former Ohio State defensive coach.
Yes. That's funny. That was about the question I asked. We asked about Arthur Smith because obviously the two worked together for, I think it was 3 years with the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. And then there was another reporter from the Boston area, I guess, that had a tweet basically that said an Ohio State reporter asking Mike Vrabel about Arthur Smith, read the room. Which was rather funny given some of the other questions that people get asked. Also, there were three of us, not just one. And we all sound very different.
I thought it was so ironic that happened because from an NFL reporter's perspective, if you cover the New England Patriots, and let's say that you want to ask, I don't know, Zach Taylor or a random NFL coach anything about the Patriots, you're kind of doing the same thing. You know, You're doing the same exact thing that you guys are doing. You're doing your job. You're 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from Indianapolis. You're asking about a former colleague of Mike Vrabel, who was just announced as the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. You're there. It's not like you're taking up 20 minutes of his 30-minute press conference asking about his time at Ohio State or reflecting back on that. You're asking about Arthur Smith. Again, new offensive coordinator with the Buckeyes. He worked with him for many years in Tennessee. And this guy wants to get mad at you guys for that?
Right. And he's also
classic Massachusetts behavior.
He's also a Buckeye. And he has coached at both the NFL level and at Ohio State. So there's really not many people that have a similar comparison. It was funny because Mike Vrabel
What's this guy's name?
I don't know. I never found the tweet. But Mike Vrabel was asked about John Harbaugh. And he was like, well, I've never coached or played for John Harbaugh. He's like, but he did great things for the 18 years in Baltimore. So, I mean, that question was completely out of left field. And I'll say, I think Mike Vrabel was most excited to answer the questions about Arthur Smith instead of about, like, how you come back from losing the Super Bowl and building the roster and stuff that he can't really tell people because then everyone would know what their offseason plans are.
Yeah, exactly. All right. It's the combine. Everybody relax. It's fine. Your job is not that serious.
Yeah.
We're talking football here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, to your point, like it's 15, 18 minutes, whatever they get, and they're getting all sorts of questions. You know, guys, the players get asked.
Also, you just talked to Mike Vrabel 3 weeks ago in the Super Bowl. You're fine.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know I don't know if this guy covers the Patriots full time or whatnot, but it was just, we all found it funny more than anything.
I think you, with your Irish heritage against that guy from Boston, I'm taking you in a fight. I've seen you scrap before. I mean, you're grabbing whatever's closest to you and using it as a weapon. I would take you 100 times out of 100 as a partner in a fight.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that your history, Pat.
Let's hope we don't.
And your red cards and your temper. I think for sure, no matter who it was from Boston, you could absolutely take him. You might be short in stature.
Yes.
But I'll tell you one thing. You scare me.
I don't know
if you get mad, stay out of your way.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's great. It's a good thing to have.
It's a good thing we weren't together and the Bears didn't beat the Rams because then I would have been mad.
That's why I lock myself in my house during Bears games, especially in the playoffs. Not doing it. I
just
can't
to avoid me.
Yeah, basically, just to avoid you and to avoid the rest of the world. All right, let's play a hypothetical here. Reimer, you're a Bengals fan. I am a Bears fan. Yep. Pat, you are a Rams fan here. If you had the pick of the litter to draft any available Ohio State player, and again, Sonny Styles setting records like a 9.99 relative athlete score. I think he's just behind Brian Urlacher and Luke Kuechly since they've been tracking these things. So like 3 out of 3,127, I think, linebackers who have been gauged on this scale since 1987. So it's almost 40 years that the people at the relative athlete score has been doing this. Obviously made himself a lot of money last night. We were talking about, there could possibly be 2 Buckeyes going to the top 5. There could be 3. There could even be as much as 4 Ohio State players going inside of the top 5 of this year's draft. Pat, if you are Mr. Snead and you're in his ear for the Rams.
Way to know that, by the way.
What?
The Rams GM.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, blank those picks.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the Bears GM, I don't think, off the top of my head.
Ryan Poles.
I did know that.
Yeah. Going to give the North, win the North and never give it back.
Yeah, right.
And then obviously you got Duke Tobin for the Bengals. We're covered, all 3 of them.
I just heard him talk the other day.
Duke Tobin? Did you ask him any Ohio State questions?
I did not.
How dare you?
It was super boring.
Yeah, that's about everything for the Bengals offseason. Yes. Usually, after they got Jamar and T signed, they're all good. So if you're the Rams GM, Pat, you have the pick of the litter of the Buckeyes to play for your favorite team. Which Ohio State player are you taking from a Rams perspective that is available in this year's draft?
So we're doing this based on need?
We're doing this based on need. Yes, it's not based on the Jets need, because the Jets need everything. Sure. Or the Las Vegas Raiders have been a mess for years, ever really since they moved to Las Vegas. I'm not doing it on that. I'm just doing it on the perspective of your favorite team. Who would you take? Which Ohio State player do you think would have the most immediate impact on your team?
Caleb Downs.
Okay.
Yeah, the Rams need secondary help, and I think Caleb would help any secondary, any defense. Yeah. But yeah, he would be the guy.
I'm telling you, man, a couple of weeks ago, I kind of got myself there with the Jets and Aaron Glenn. I know that Arvell...
You were sleeping?
What?
You were sleeping?
What are you talking about?
Aaron Glenn. He was sleeping.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought you said I was sleeping. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, you just said you were Aaron Glenn, so I was like, so you were sleeping?
Yeah. So again, if you want to fix your defense, and I'm not to say that Arvell can't change a defense and Sonny can change a defense, but the way that the New York Football Jets play football in the NFL and did not have a single interception this year, you probably need help. You probably need help on the back end of that secondary. And I've kind of talked myself into, if I was the Jets GM, if I was Aaron Glenn sleeping at the wheel and at the NFL Combine, I can get there mentally with Caleb. I can get there mentally with Arvell Reese and what kind of a game breaker he could be to help you out on the edge. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen at that number 2 position. Certainly the Jets have a lot of different areas that they need help at. And I think an Ohio State player, either Caleb or Arvell, is, again, from my perspective, I think that it's got to be one of those 2 guys for them.
What about the Bears?
So the Bears are drafting 25, but if every single Ohio State player was available, that's a tough question. I think I'm going to go Sonny, man. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to go Sonny Styles, and it has nothing to do with anything he did at the Combine yesterday, because I think we're all aware of what he could do. Now, I'll tell you one thing. If Caden McDonald is available at 18, whoever's drafting there, you need to trade up for to go and get him. I think that would be a great addition. But I think the Bears, from their perspective, Pat, such a leaky defense, and they need help all over the place. Caleb Downs would help. Arvell would help. Obviously, Sonny would help. Caden McDonald would help. I don't think you could go wrong with any of those guys. But if I got the pick of the litter, more of a traditional off-ball linebacker, knowing just the history of that city and bringing back that defense, I would probably trend more Sonny than anybody else on that list. And that's not a slight to Caleb or Arvell or Caden McDonald. I just think that Sonny, I think, would fit perfectly at what the Bears are trying to rebuild defensively. Reimer, I think I know who you're going with for the Bengals.
Yeah, I think it's clear and obvious that secondary is atrocious. Yeah. So if Caleb Downs were there, I would not think twice about it.
Yeah.
And
so
would be taking
Carnell
him.
Tate.
Well, that's where I want it to be funny.
Just another receiver.
Yeah, and be like, I know I'm a basketball guy. Name of the game is put the ball in the bucket. Football, You got to put points on the board, got to get across the line, score touchdowns. Just load up that wide receiver room. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, all the weapons there for Joe Burrow. Who cares if he has protection? Who cares if he has a defense? We're outscoring teams, everything. That's what I want.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong. And that's how crazy it is.
But the clear and obvious answer is Caleb Downs, because you need to balance out that defense.
He fixes a defense immediately.
Yes.
Like the immediate help that you
Swiss
are going
Army knife,
to get.
he can be everywhere.
Yes, and I think if you're going for the long play, if you're going for a first-round rookie who you can then tag after their 4th year, not tag, but you extend them on the option, get 5 years, and knowing that Sonny Styles has only been in the linebacker room for 2 years, and you're projecting what he can be at the next level, I think that's mine. I don't think you can really go wrong.
I wouldn't be upset with Sonny either.
With anybody,
I'm between those two.
With anybody who you answered with.
Yeah.
I know that Arvell is kind of projecting to go down on the line and be more of that Micah Parsons pass rusher, drop back into coverage.
I think that really depends where he ends up. I think some teams, you can use him as a stand-up linebacker.
Yeah, he was great at it this year.
And so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, if he doesn't go to the Jets, if he does go to a team that maybe can have some more, hey, let's figure out where we need him the best, as opposed to we just need somebody to wreck, the opposing offense.
Or if you're the Bengals, just average 40 points a game and draft Carnell Tate.
I think that would be fine too.
Yeah.
You
may still average 40 points a game without him.
I don't think you can be wrong with that.
If Joe Burrow stays healthy.
Yeah,
yes.
That's a huge
The window is open when Joe Burrow is there.
Yes, it is. And
According
also
to him.
when T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Carnell Tate are going to be on the field coming up this fall for the Cincinnati Bengals. All good stuff there. We'll ask Tony Gerdeman that same question from Buckeye Huddle. He joins us coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter?
These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
You got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com. Already prepping for next week's matchup? Get your best rest yet with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop Bob's and choose from pillows, soft, plush, dual feel, and extra firm mattresses with Bobopedic memory foam that will have you dreaming of game day in no time. So shop in store or online to score the latest and affordable luxury mattresses without the luxury price tag. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Right now, we're going to head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, checking with our good friend at Buckeye Huddle. He is Tony Gerdeman. Gerd, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. What are you and Pat doing tomorrow afternoon? I heard that you guys have some sort of party that you're going to, maybe, Gerd?
All I was told is that there may be a free drink or two, and that to expect some good company. I don't know how much I'm allowed to divulge.
Open bar, dude. Anytime that there's an open bar, you got to go to that. Gerd, before we got to you.
Way to just leave that sitting out there.
Well, he said he's not supposed to divulge any information, so that's where we're going to stop with that. Gerd, before we just talk to you, let me give you this hypothetical. So you're a Bears fan. I'll give you the pick of the litter of any available Ohio State player in this year's draft. If you were acting as a substitute for Ryan Poles and you could only take one Buckeye in this year's draft, but they're all available, who would you take, Gerd? Who's your pick?
I don't care for this question. I feel like some of these interviews that Caleb Downs is going to be doing is also like, yes, we're interviewing you to be our safety, but also like an assistant coach. I feel like he is the absolute safest guy. And I believe I heard Rich Eisman say that the Bears don't have any safeties under contract right now.
That seems problematic.
I think that might be where I would go, just because I know as long as the Bears pay him, they'll have him there for the next 12 years.
I think that's fair.
I said Sonny Styles, Gerd. I
can't blame you for that. The numbers that he's put up, and even aside from that, just seeing him in his 2 years at linebacker, what he's done, and projecting that it's only going to get better from here. Like I have no issues with that, because he's also like, there's going to be no problems from him. Like there's no issues at all with him.
Gerd, where do you fall on watching the combine? Are you a guy who's like super glued into these drills that are going on, or do you just kind of look and see what happened later?
No, I've had it on, but I'm also playing a little NBA 2K right now with the 1995 Dallas Mavericks. While I've got this going on, but I am listening and watching the 40s, of course. And, one of my great sports wishes was to be able to watch Ted Ginn do this, but he got injured in the final game of his college career, to see what he would have done at the NFL Combine. But we're getting to see a little bit of it with all of the way the Buckeyes are doing so far this week.
Just ask AI to make it for you. They can do everything now, including fake highlights for high school kids.
Crazy.
How are the Dallas Mavericks doing in 1995?
You know what? We are 4-0, but we're getting ready to play the Bulls. And me, as Jimmy Jackson, I'm getting ready to defend Michael Jordan, and I just gave up 35 points to J.R. Ryder, so I don't know that it's going to go that well.
Are you playing like the full 82 game season here, Gerd?
Yeah, we'll see how long. It's a lot. That's like 82 hours of gameplay, and I don't know that I can make it that far.
I once took the Atlanta Hawks. This is probably like NBA Live 2004.
You're really dating yourself by saying NBA Live.
Oh yeah, I took the Atlanta Hawks to like back-to-back championships. I played every game. It was great. I also won All-Star Game MVP and won the 3-point contest as a rookie.
Save that for the wedding speech.
Yeah, there we go.
That's how I know it's not real anymore because, one, Pat doesn't play video games, and also superstars like that would never participate in any of these other events that is going on during NBA All-Star Weekend. We're checking in with Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Gerd, Lorenzo Styles earlier setting an Ohio State Combine record, 4.2740. It's the 9th fastest from a DB all-time at the Combine, and we let off the show. I just said that I don't know if there was anybody who could better his opportunity to be drafted than Lorenzo Styles, and you saw what he did in the 40 time, and boy, did he certainly probably divert some scouts' attention this evening when he did that.
Yeah, for sure, and I think one of the important things to remember, he's 3 years in to playing defensive back right now, and so it was clear if you watched Ohio State that this past year the defense was better when he was out there. And it was much more suspect when he was not. And even the big plays that he gave up this year, he was right there. And so when he was not on the field, you saw how the opponents attacked the defense, and it was effective. So I think 3 years into playing defensive back, the trajectory there is good as well. And certainly the athletic frame and the makeup and all of that is, I mean, I'm watching this and wondering what would have been his career if he had just signed with Ohio State right out of the gate and been playing in the secondary all along.
Gerd, other than Lorenzo, who is a guy that maybe isn't the highest projected, but you think could really raise his draft stock based on a good performance at the Combine?
You know, we saw IGB Davison Igbinosun go with the 4.46 and then down to a 4.45 before the odd 4.55 on the second run. But he's big and he's long, 6'2", legit corner, physical, has the attitude. And his impact on the Ohio State defense the past 3 years, I think, shouldn't go overlooked, and that's something that he's going to take forward with him to wherever he ends up. And with bigger corners, it's just a matter of, are they quick enough to handle it? And if they're not, then you put them into cover 2 and you do that sort of thing. So I think starting for 3 years at Ohio State at corner feels to me like you can play in the NFL. And we're seeing Denzel Burke do a little bit of that with the Cardinals, but I think Davis Igbinosun has a chance to be pretty decent because he's got everything you could want. Maybe a little more quickness.
Gerd, do you think that we've given enough shine to Carnell Tate? I mean, we're talking about, a guy potentially going in the top 5 of the NFL draft, top 10. I would assume that Carnell Tate is going to go there. I mean, the lineage of the guys that, he worked with, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, like Carnell kind of falls in that same line of Emeka, I think, with me as an Ohio State fan, where he was never the guy, but he was always terrific as a player, and we're getting ready to see that. Do you think he's gotten enough maybe praise, kudos, shine over the years at his time at Ohio State before he goes off to the NFL?
Yeah, probably not. And, he's always been, as wide receiver 2 at Ohio State this past year. And I still go back to Marvin Harrison as a sophomore or junior saying that, Carnell Tate is a year ahead of where he himself was. And when you put that on somebody as a true freshman, the expectations, are going to be kind of impossible to meet. But then also the players that he's playing with, it's, what would have happened if he would have been wide receiver 1 and there was no Jeremiah Smith? I'm guessing that the numbers would have been very, very sizable for him. So I think he's going to be just fine in the NFL, depending on, like we all thought Marvin Harrison would have been just fine, and I eventually think he will, but you've got to go to a place that has a quarterback that isn't a complete loon.
And just not an overall disaster of a franchise. We were talking, speaking of wide receivers, we were talking about this while driving back today from Indy. Chris Henry Jr., there is obviously going to be a lot of expectation, especially coming off of what Jeremiah Smith did as a freshman. What do you think his role will be year one with the Buckeyes?
The number 5 or number 6 receiver, honestly. Like, there are 4 receivers that have experience that are going to be on this roster and have over 30 catches in the season, and then Chris Henry comes in and he's playing the same position as Jeremiah Smith. So that means Jeremiah Smith will have to move around because Chris Henry won't necessarily know the other positions. I just think it's important to remember that, like, Carnell Tate, his freshman year, caught 18 passes, which was the 6th most for any freshman wide receiver in Ohio State history. All right, so to expect, like, Chris Carter used to have the record with 41, and now it's Jeremiah Smith with 76. That's a complete outlier. We should never compare anybody to Jeremiah Smith. In terms of freshmen, like Ted Ginn Jr. had 25 catches as a true freshman. I think somewhere in between Ted Ginn and Carnell Tate, I think, is a fair expectation. I mean, Garrett Wilson had 30 catches as a true freshman, never started a game. The only freshman receiver that has started more than like one game in the last 40 years is Jeremiah Smith. So, to expect Ohio State to hit grand slams, kind of back to back, I mean, you got to put guys on base before you can do that.
Gerd, before we get into spring ball a little bit here, is there one side of the ball you're more looking forward to? Arthur Smith in year number 1, Matt Patricia trying to reload this Ohio State defense yet again in year number 2 for him. Like, when we get the spring ball here in a couple of weeks, what are you going to be most fascinated to watch?
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see where the defensive side of the ball, where everybody's lining up. Like, is Kenyatta Jackson lined up where Caden Curry was last year, and what's the depth chart look like at nickel? Like, a lot of these minutia type things is what I'm going to be looking for, and just trying to get that baseline on that first practice if we're actually in there, and then getting an idea of where everybody's lining up, and then seeing if they're still there in week 4 or week 5.
A higher likelihood of happening. You guys being able to watch Ohio State practice in spring ball. Are you holding Michael Jordan to under 30 points in your 2K game tonight against the Bulls?
I'm going to say we will see practice, and I'm probably not going to hold MJ under 30, although I am just letting these dudes try to shoot threes because back in the 90s they couldn't, and I'll test it. I'll see, and I'm going to go right back at them every single time.
Is that the Chicago Bulls or the Hammond Bulls? Were they still in Chicago?
Gary Bulls.
Yes. Very Chicago United Center Bulls. No, I'm sorry, Chicago Stadium Bulls.
I was going to say, come on, man.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the Madhouse on Madison yet, I don't think. Gerd, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on. Best of luck in your 2K season. Always appreciate the time. Have a great weekend, and we will check in again soon, all right?
All right. Talk to you guys later.
There you go. It's Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Speaking of Carnell Tate, he's got a great hobby, which I think everybody should get involved with. We'll do that in hashtag Buckeyes next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet forever when you switch and get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. No internet bills, no taxes, no late fees. Just fast fiber-powered internet. Call 833-901-0178 to find out how. But hurry, this deal won't last forever. Once more, 833-901-0178. Or visit spectrum.com/freeforever to learn more.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Registration for the Fan 5K is now open. Join your favorite personalities June 20th at Otterbein University. The Fan 5K features a medal, t-shirt, free race photos, and a post-race party.
Get your spot today at 971therace.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans. Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
From the first whistle to the final play, being a Buckeye fan calls for commitment and support. Nature Made vitamins are your winning play. From the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Nature Made is made to care for fans on game day and every day. So you can go all in on big wins, tough losses, and still show up for your team every time. Nature Made, proud vitamin and supplement sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Got about 10 more minutes with you here on this Friday. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us on YouTube. You can always go back and listen to the show if you missed anything. Stefan Krajisnik, Cleveland.com, Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle. They joined us a little bit earlier in the program, giving their thoughts on the NFL Combine. Any other big takeaways, Pat, from the Combine for you, other than you trying to beat up a member of the Boston media?
That did not happen. Let's not put that out there.
I'm just saying.
Will Kazmarek just ran a
You obviously had some beef with him.
I guess.
Or he had beef with you.
Yes. Will Kazmarek just ran a 4.75 40.
It's a good time for a big fella.
Unofficial first run. I assume he'll go again. But that's pretty solid. No, nothing. I mean, we've covered most of it. Like, I just think these guys are all. It's really impressive that what Ohio State produces, both on the field and then how they represent the program. When they speak to the media, when they speak to coaches, all that kind of stuff. It's just an all-around player comes out of Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And I think you've heard about that when guys have transferred in, right? Max Clare. Yeah, he wanted to be an all-around tight end, develop as a blocker, things like that. But, you also learn how to handle yourself in these situations, like giant media scrums that probably don't happen very often at Purdue. What it takes to be a part of a winning program, right? Like, things like that not to take anything away from Purdue football, but they don't win a lot of games. So
no, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. And so if you're gonna go to if you're going to go to the NFL and want to be a part of a major, successful team, which I know is everyone's goal, like having that experience is valuable.
Absolutely it is, right? So got the combine going on this weekend. When's the final day for workouts? Monday? Sunday for workouts, and then maybe some like medicals and stuff on Monday.
There could be, yeah.
I think it leaks into Monday.
Yeah, there could be some stuff. By the way, Gerd just sent us a picture of Isaiah Ryder from his video game.
His guy.
Yeah, so he's really going at it here.
Last game he played 30 minutes, 42 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, 42 points on 34 shots.
Yeah, I mean, he's shooting a lot. He's not
dicey.
Passing the ball, or his teammates are not making. He's either
Mama mentality.
Yeah. He's
Christian
either not passing.
Christian Leitner's also on that team.
Yeah.
If you notice that,
10 points in 27 minutes. Only took 16 shots.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I guess 34 shots and 40 points.
If he knocks down some of those, maybe he's got more assists.
Yeah, I think he probably does. All right, so we were. Jacob, you listened to this. This is on Pro Football Talk. He was on with Mike Florio. Carnell Tate, former wide receiver now for the Buckeyes, looking to go in the top 10 in the NFL draft. Mike Florio was asking him what his favorite hobby was, and here was Carnell Tate's answer.
What do we do when we get away from football? What do you do in your spare time?
I play video games. I got a Lego set going.
Ooh, what Lego set are you doing?
So right now I'm currently in Titanic still. So I've been in it since like the beginning of the season.
Okay. Are we working out?
Yes, we are.
I want to keep talking Legos. Isn't it a great way to just kind of get away from everything?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You forget, like the whole world just disappears and you're just focusing on getting these damn blocks connected.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
What's the best one you've done other than Titanic?
The Eiffel Tower. But it's about 5 feet tall, long days, long hours putting into it.
First thing we're going to buy with this NFL money?
Definitely got spoiled with Granny. Buy her a nice little house in Chicago so that I can go back home and call Chicago my home.
Yeah, cool, man. I
thought you were going to say another Lego set. What's the next Lego set after you finish the Titanic?
I don't know. Probably one of the Star Wars collecting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Get the Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Okay, I gotta check that one out.
You guys are nerds.
I think that's a great hobby, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure Willie's going to get into Legos here in a little bit of time. They're still a little bit too small for him, but we're doing like the Magnetiles and whatever like the bigger version of Legos are. But once he gets into those, they're going to become the bane of my existence because
you're going to step on them.
Yeah, we don't really put anything away, and if you've ever stepped on a Lego, you know how much that hurts. And then also too, how cool that's going to be for him to get into the Legos. You're a big Legos guy, aren't you?
I was as a kid, not so much anymore. We need to get Carnell the Old Trafford Legos.
We do, but I have a question for parents out there or just any Legos people in general. Do they still just sell regular Legos that don't come with a thing you need to build?
I believe so.
Do they? Just regular sets of random pieces?
I've been to the Lego store. I went to the one in New York. I've been to the one in London. And you can just buy individual pieces of those things. So, yeah, I would.
What's a Lego going for?
I don't think I think they're like cents.
Okay.
Now, obviously in London.
Pence.
Yeah. But, speaking of, you asked me takeaways. This is one I forgot. I learned that Davison Igbinosun, soccer guy, plays FIFA. Unfortunately, he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so we're out on Davison.
You know what? It doesn't need to be any tougher on him. He's had a rough go as of late.
Matt Patricia is at the Combine on NFL Network giving a hug to Fernando Mendoza. What do you think that conversation's like? Also, Will Kazmarik's about to run his second 40.
I bet that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, like, hey, why did you beat us?
Hey, why did you come back into that game after Caden Curry hit you right in the bottom of the chin at the very beginning of the game? Couldn't you have just sat out for the rest? Fernando, what are you doing here?
That would have been nice
for
the Buckeyes.
I think in hindsight, that would have been probably a good thing for Ohio State if that were to happen. I have no clue what that conversation is like. Obviously, Matt Patricia, a ton of NFL experience. He's there. He's probably happy for everyone who is getting to experience this. That's also a guy, not that Indiana lit Ohio State defensively on fire, but it is one of the 2 teams to beat you this season.
Yes, 4.76 unofficial time for Will Kazmarek second.
All right.
No, 1.01 slower.
4.75 the first time,
yes,
not 4.77.
Correct. We're both bad at
Is
this.
Max Clay running or not?
He is not.
Okay.
They just apparently, and I saw that on Twitter, that he will not be running. So I imagine he will do it at the Pro Day.
Yeah, I would think so.
Where we have to.
You're going to get. Yeah, you guys don't have. I know that the NFL Combine has official times until they go official. Their unofficial times are way more official than your guys' times.
What's going to be interesting is because the last few years,
do you do it on your phone, or do you have a stopwatch that you bought?
Usually there's like 4 or 5 of us, and somebody thinks to bring a stopwatch, and the rest of us are doing it on their phone, and then we just compare numbers and average them. But the past few years, we've been able to get like the printout that has all the official numbers and stuff on it. Jerry Emig, whose last day today, as the SID at Ohio State.
Shout out to Jerry, man.
Yes, he's been able to do that. We will have a new SID, so unsure. But the way they position us is so that we cannot the 40s are coming directly at us, so it's very hard to figure out like
where the
line is and things like that. So it's the times, unless we get official numbers from somebody, the times are very unofficial.
Yeah, they definitely are. But yeah, you'll see more of those guys compete. Are you expecting Jeremiah to participate at Pro Day? Jeremiah and Julian?
Maybe. Yeah, I would think, if Carnell's going to do routes, like why would you not have those guys out there, and obviously the tight ends. So I would imagine Julian and maybe even Tavian will do some throwing, and they've done that before with the receivers.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that, but I would imagine they want to show him off a little bit.
I think he doesn't really need
he doesn't
need to do it.
But a lot of these people, especially like GMs and coaches and stuff, have probably only seen him on film. So seeing him in person do some stuff, I mean, it's just different.
Even just stretch.
Yeah. I've said that too, like when I've talked to people that cover different Big Ten schools or whatnot for other 24/7 sports sites, like pay attention when this kid's on the field, because I know you watch him on TV, but it's just different in person. The way he does,
just exists.
Yes, I mean, he could be doing this right. He could be at the combine right now and probably be putting up ridiculous numbers.
Before we get out of here tonight, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. Among Ohio State's top 4 NFL draft prospects, who would you consider to be the safest pick? Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate. Very different question than what we asked earlier in the show. If you were in charge of your favorite NFL team, which player are you picking? I'm going with your guys' answer. I think the safest pick is easily Caleb Downs.
Agreed.
And not that Sonny isn't safe.
I second that.
Not that Arvell and Carnell Tate are not safe. But if you're asking me to choose the safest, I think 100 times out of 100, I'm going to pick Caleb Downs. And that's not a slight to anyone else. It's just he's going to be a surefire pro for however long he wants to play and or stays healthy for.
Yeah, I mean, he was look at what he was coming out of high school. Look at what he produced in college, and look at where he's being talked about in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like it just, it's the consistency of the projections, and he hasn't ever disappointed.
Pat, I had a great time with you here this evening. Are you going to the same spot Gerd is tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I'm going to ask.
Right.
I'm not allowed to divulge any other information.
I didn't think this was a big secret, but now I'm nervous that it is. So
have a great weekend, buddy. We will
too.
Talk to you again at some point next week. Everyone have an awesome weekend. We'll be back on Sunday for Buckeye Hoops. Have a great night. Red's Hot Stove up next on The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and